Hi there, Prairie Plant Girl here. I got a delivery and I'm pretty excited to open it, and I thought I'd bring you along. So I hope it's a really, really windy day today. I'm hoping this is a sheltered enough area to to do this in, and hopefully you can hear me all right. So let's get this open and see what I have in here. Two planters for my front driveway area. I'm excited about this because the last ones I had, one of them has a huge crack in it. We've tried to fix it, but it just won't work. And I had trouble finding some that weren't like crazy amounts of money or that would fit in the space because it's a narrow area, but I wanted something with height. It's not always easy to find. And these are nice because I'll give you a look inside. They have little shelf things in them. Looks like it's one piece. Maybe it's two. Let's see. Yeah, so it looks like they sit in there. Can you see that? So they sit inside there, and so it's a less soil reservoir. They still have a drainage hole. You can see right in there. And then the containers themselves have two drainage holes. I don't know how well you can see them down at the bottom there. So it'll still have good drainage. And it actually looks like there's shelves in the bottom that you could maybe make something to make a shorter, like a lower shelf in there if you wanted. I don't know if you can see that down here, but these ones sit on there. So I think those are going to be great. Now, I already planted my front planters trying to make a little improvisation, but it hasn't worked out well. So just see that one poking around the corner there, but I'm going to go try and haul them over here, and I'll show you what I tried to do and see if I can get them moved over into this. So there you can see the difference in size in these two planters. And the one on your right is a huge crack down the back. I don't know if you can see, there's a darker mark there. We tried to fix it And there's actually some damage on the bottom too. So that one's really been beat up. I'm not sure how. But it doesn't hold water anymore, and it was very hard to keep water last year, so it's time to invest in some new ones. So what I did is I bought some square hanging baskets that were supposed to be just slightly larger than the outside diameter at the top of these pots, but they obviously weren't because they slid right inside. So I'm going to do my best to pull these apart and show you what I tried to rig up to make these work for one more season. And then I'm going to try and move things over into the other pots and see how that goes. Probably have to get a bit more soil. I don't think I brought enough out here, but I'll try and get one done right now anyways. That worked easier than I thought it would. I thought that was going to be a lot more difficult to get those pots out of there. I was able to get my fingers in the side and lift them out. And you can see the menagerie of things that I had there, just trying to lift them up to a decent height. But it's at a nice height before I filled the pots, but of course once I filled them the weight was too much and they sank down quite a bit. Okay, so I've got things cleared up and settled here, but I still want to put some weight in the bottom of this because they are in a very windy location, and with having soil just in the top, I don't know, third or so, it can make them very top heavy and quick to fall over, and especially because I tend to plant cannas in these, so that adds kind of a sail at the top. So I just set a 4-liter jug of water and a brick in the bottom, and that should give it a bit more weight on the bottom. I think that's part of what happened with my old ones is they are tipping over and blowing over, and I think that's what caused the one to get broken because it just kept falling over a couple summers ago. So the next thing I'm going to do is put the shelf in. And I just cut a piece of cardboard off the box, and just because that's such a big hole, now you could use some mesh or a coffee filter or something. That would probably be a better option, but this is what I have out here with me right now, so I'm just going to set it over the hole, and that will help to keep the soil that I'm going to put in from falling right through the hole. But it should still allow water to drain through there. So I'm going to see how much soil I have here to get this filled up, and then we'll try and dismantle this pot and build it back up in here. And I definitely did not bring enough soil with me, so I'm going to have to go get some more. And maybe 2 gloves that are not the same hand. I managed to find some more soil and 2 gloves that match. So, get this filled in here. hold a lot of soil. These plants will be happy. All this root space compared to what they had. Okay, so what I have in these pots is this is just the red canna that I've been growing for years. So it's I don't know what the variety name is, but it's a large canna, obviously green leaves, nice red blooms. Just a division from one of the ones that I've had for years. And I have a verbena here. This is called Superbena Raspberry. And this is a lantana, and I can't tell you the variety because I don't have the tag here, and I can't remember what it was. But I like lantana because their blooms change color as they age. So these ones start out as this kind of pink, and then I don't know if you can see, but they're turning yellow in the center there. So, and then this is a spotlight Ipomea, sweet potato vine, and then you can't probably see it yet back here, but there is dwarf amulet coreopsis, and that's from some pre-seed that I grew this year. So let's see how that works out. And then trusty rusty coleus that I had from cuttings. So these cannas would really like to be into some more soil. See all the roots as I break some on that coleus there. The coleus gets quite tall, so I put it at the back by the canna here, and I think it'll be kind of a step down in the pot, but at the back, kind of as a double thriller. So this is a coleus that can take sun or shade. And it did well for me last year, so I took some cuttings. This coreopsis, I believe it's supposed to be at 18 by 24 inches tall and wide, but as it's a perennial, it probably won't get that large this year. They usually take a while to get established. I can pop it out and put it out in my landscape this fall at the end of summer, and it should grow in my climate here. The other plants will all have to be either stored indoors or just composted. This is the lantana. I believe lantana is a shrub in warmer parts of the world, but here it's a bedding plant, and I think it gets around 10 to 12 inches tall and wide, but I'm not even sure so it might not even be that big. And then the lantana is kind of the same thing here. These plants can both take a lot of hot, dry conditions. They stand up well to the wind, and I feel they do well in these pots out front where they just kind of get abused by the weather. So I tend to use these two every year just to kind of fill out the pots. And then here's the Ipomea. And it'll just come and fill out the middle. I used to try Ipomea on the sides of these pots, but as they flank my garage doors, as they get bigger, they would start brushing up against the vehicles and things and causing problems. So now I try to put them off to one side away from the door or in the center, and that works well. So this pot will be in a full sun location. The wind's going to be hitting it, and I'll do my best to remember to water it a couple times a week. In the beginning here, I pay more attention to it and try to get out every day until the roots are established. But as the summer drags on, sometimes they get forgotten. And these plants generally can do well with that. The coleus might not like that abuse as much, we'll find out. And the coreopsis. Coreopsis is a tough plant generally, so I'm expecting the same thing even though I've never grown this variety. So I'm going to water them in well, but first I'm going to move them to their final location because they'll just be too heavy to move. I have some slow release fertilizer in here, and when I'm fertilizing the other plants, the other pots and things about once a week, I'll give these guys a shot of it too, just as a liquid feed. But for the most part, they just sit in front and get used and abused. So I'm going to do up the other pot. I don't think I'll show it. It's just too windy here. And when it calms down, I'll try and get you some shots of them in their place. That might be in a few days. It's been really windy here. So that's what these pots are going to be. I'm really happy. These pots hold a lot of soil. They have a good weight to them, so hopefully they stand up. The other pots I had for about 7 years before they finally succumbed to the elements. So hopefully these guys are just as tough. So thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.